Greetings to you all the ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us on today's issue of Well in Print on your Pan-African Media TV with me, your lady FRIDA EGBESON. It has been an eventful week, and we hope that you all have had a beautiful week, ushering yourself into the weekend with very beautiful faces. Today is Friday, the 22nd of August 2025, and of course is our last broadcast for the week. And on today's edition of the program, I'll be joined on set by one very intelligent and new guest making part of our panelist list to get enlarged, who is no one else but Mr. TANTOH Edward, with whom we shall be analyzing the most catchy newspaper items. So stay tuned, for we shall be right back just after the transition. Viewers, if you are just joining us, you are live on your Pan-African Media TV, and the program on air is Well in Print with our lady FRIDA EGBESON. On today's edition of the program, like I said, I will be joined on set by a young and intelligent young man who is no one else but Mr. Edward TANTOH. But before we go on, ladies and gentlemen, up next is our weekly press review with our first flight taking us to the United Kingdom with Financial Times newspaper. From the United Kingdom, Financial Times this morning is carrying as caption, measure unexpected acceleration in inflation, widens gap between European press. While Birmingham Mail headlines this morning, Horizon scandal, victims back at her post office. Oxford Mail on its part comes this morning with major caption, jailed for battering partner. The report says that a man has been jailed for battering his partner and giving her serious scars on the head and on the forehead. From the UK, we move over to Toronto this morning, Canada, with Toronto Star carrying as caption, City Mayor calls out threat over refugee funding. The paper story is saying that it's a shameful threatening. He has threatened to spark new battles over shelter costs for asylum seekers in Toronto. From Toronto, our next flight is taking us to the United States of America with the Yorkshire Post this morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Yorkshire Post is carrying as caption, alarm as mail fares could rise by 5.8%. IB deems called for increase to be asked to get more on trains. While the New York Times carries as caption this morning, Trump shrinks student access from overseas. Away from New York Times, we move over to US Today. US Today is carrying as caption, Trump wants mailed in voting gets backed. The story is telling us that Donald Trump, the president of the United Kingdom, has suggested voting via mail, but this has been refused because election law experts say a president has no role in that decision. From here, we move over to the Punch newspaper from the Republic of Cameroon, which is carrying as major caption. The Punch newspaper is telling us this morning, captioning this morning, 2027 presidential showdown. Mike McKinney rift threatens high stakes. The paper says that as presidential elections are approaching in Nigeria, there has been some rift between parties as PDP and Mike McKinney has joined the other side to criticize government and make the upcoming convention a threat for them. While Daily Trust carries this morning, wedding guest killing, victims' families kick as suspects get jailed. From Daily Trust or from Nigeria, we move over to neighboring Cameroon with the Guardian Post newspaper carrying as a major headline, on the sidelines of Tokyo International Conference, PM Japanese counterpart discuss boosting ties. The median headlines, petition for declaration of Bia's ineligibility, Akeremuna's demarche is an exercise in futility, Dr. Asunyenti. Cameroon Insider on its part this morning is telling us about Ticket 19 in Yokohama. Cameroon aims for big deals. While the Post week ender this morning, ladies and gentlemen, the Post news ender still in the Republic of Cameroon is carrying as major caption: Anglophone lawyers decry assimilation as a government strips notary powers. Say decision is against common law, makes nonsense of special status. This is how we saw it on today's newspapers headlines, and up next is our in-depth analysis with our guests just after the transition. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are on to Well in Print on your Pan-African Media TV, broadcasting live on Bouquet Creoline Canal 299. On today's edition of the program, I have the honor to have on set a young, a vibrant, and very intelligent Cameroonian youth who is a peace advocate, peace and justice advocate. He is a businessman, and of course, he is of the civil society. So this morning, join me as we welcome Mr. EDWAED TANTOH on our set of Well in Print. EDWAED, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, madam, and thank you for having me on Well in Print this morning. I also wish to thank those in Menchum, and to say that on the 21st of August marks the 39 years since the Legnios disaster claimed over 1,700 lives since 1986.
Okay.
So we are saying that our viewers out there should stay put and listen as we give them more details on what has made news around the world.
All right, you know, it has been an eventful news in Cameroon like in other parts of the world. Let me first of all start with you. How has your week been? We are running out of the week. Today is Friday. The weekend is fast approaching. How was your week like?
Yeah, Douala being the economic capital of Cameroon, rain has not really allowed people to walk freely these days. We just had, like today, it's really raining out there. So it has made the week stressful a little bit, and with what has made news around, like we have the petition that Barrister Akeremona, the aspirant presidential candidate for 2025, petition against the ruling party, asking them to declare a candidate for them. So that's what has made news for this week, precisely.
I want to say thank you for taking time this morning, because when I was leaving home, I was like, my goodness, how is my guest going to cope under this rain? And despite the rain, you've kept the rendezvous, and that's what we call being a gentleman. A gentleman is he who gives his word and keeps it. So once more, thank you to the family of Well in Print, and of course to Pan-African Media TV.
Thank you very much.
So you followed News Keenly with me. With you this morning, we shall be looking at the most catchy news items. We have reviewed quite papers from going from the UK to Canada to the US to Nigeria and of course to Cameroon. But what we do is we'll go dig the most catchy news headlines, those that have caught our attention, and our viewers, we are praying that you stay put, because it's going to be interesting this afternoon here with us. We'll go back. We started with Financial Times from the United Kingdom. I want us to look at the caption of Financial Times this morning. Financial Times is talking about they say unexpected acceleration in inflation widens the gap with European peers. You know, they are complaining inflation. I want to believe that even in Cameroon we are facing it, and this one they say unexpected acceleration, which means the rate at which it's going is something that they are decrying already. So what can you say in relation to this? When things just, if you look at African countries, you look at the way things go, you look at Cameroon, prices change overnight. It's like our senior people also are in the same pot of soup like us. So a comparative analysis can you make between these two?
Yes, I think when you see inflation in a society, at times the government have to regulate inflation, because when people get more money into their hands, and they tend to maybe buy goods at prices whereby they are not supposed to. So it causes inflation in a society. So at times it can be government strategy to cause inflation, to reduce or regulate situation, economic situation in a society. So I think with what is happening out there in Is
UK.
it in UK? The government will see how to regulate it, because inflation at times it kills economy. Yeah, it kills the economy. So the government will see what to do in order to regulate the situation.
And at times it feels like the people, the downtrodden, suffer inflation most, because those who have money will not complain about spending the money. But when those of us who are struggling to make ends meet, some people who take home really cannot take them home at the end of the month, go to the market and you find price skyrocketing, it can be a problem.
I'm telling you, that is why at times when because there's also the deflation and inflation.
Yeah.
So at times when there is inflation, you see that the more money into people's hand, it makes them to buy things at the price that they want, and then it affects the poor, the poor in the society, because they begin to face situation like they don't have the money to purchase goods. Meanwhile, the rich and those who have the money, they have excess in order to purchase what they want. So it really makes things difficult in a society. That's why we always pray that government should always regulate and put things at least in order, so that both the rich and the poor can meet up.
Of course, that's true. So this morning we shall also look at another headline that caught my attention was Oxford Mail. I talked of they say major caption, jailed for battering partner. The report written by Oliver says a thug punished his partner in Oxford repeatedly, leaving her with severe wounds and bruises on her face, and he has been jailed. So you are a man, you are a guy. What do you think about wife battery?
Oh, that's domestic
partner
violence.
battery.
Yeah, that's domestic violence. What we don't accept in the society, we condemn that strongly. And I know that out there in Europe, I mean,
don't play with such.
Yeah, they don't play with such because they respect their laws. They are not like in Africa where the law favors the rich, you know, and out here maybe they don't take things serious. But out there in Europe, they don't play with it, and mostly they protect the rights of the woman at time more than that of the man.
Yeah, because they are the weaker.
Yeah, not really. They always say women can do what a man can do.
Right.
But I think as far as domestic violence is concerned, it's not good. But I think they will regulate that situation and see if they have judged the matter and put this man behind bars. It means he's against the law and he has fallen short.
Pay for it. He has got what he deserved.
That is it.
All right. We move to Toronto, Canada this morning. Toronto Star is carrying as major caption. They say mayor calls out feds over over refugee funding. He has called out on mayor. They say election law experts know this is okay. In effect, the money they keep, apparently, people are playing games. You know, in Africa, we know that it's in Africa where people toil. When there is some money for a project, people tend maybe to fill their pocket with, or people tend to do one or two things. But here, it's Canada we are talking about. Emil is crying out because he has planned that he's going to expose them if they do not say anything tangible about money that they have kept for asylum seekers. So what do you think? What is the world turning into? What we think we should be using as role models also are falling in the same pot of soup where we find ourselves.
Yes, the whole world is really facing what we call economic crisis. And because of some particular people in a society that are in possession of funds, maybe government funds, they tend to fill their pocket and their bank's accounts. But what is happening is that out there in Europe, there are laws, and since they don't play with their laws, they always make sure they follow their laws and see. For example, when you go to China, if you are caught for embezzlement, they might jail you to death. Yeah, you go to places like Japan, they sentence you to death for embezzlement. And these are things that if other countries should emulate, like most of the African countries, you hear of maybe a minister embezzled 25 billion, a huge amount that could tar a stretch road maybe for about 500 kilometers. Somebody embezzled it, put in his pocket, and is enjoying with his family. I think that is the more reason why we see in Africa we are always behind. So I think out there, there are some people in a society that usually says that not everybody is the same. You cannot find 100 people, good people. There must be some people that at least do their own things their own way, but whereas they have good laws, they will regulate the situation very fast.
Yeah, because the mayor has termed it shameful that he threatens to spark new battles.
That is it.
Over shelter costs for asylum seekers. And these asylum seekers are people who are in vulnerable situations. Then they go, those who are supposed to see that they are okay are the ones, putting mud into
and most
home.
of these asylum seekers are Africans. Most of them, you see, they are Africans. They have left their countries because of war issues or one problem or the other, and maybe this funds the government in that country, like in Toronto, it's in Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, the government can allocate this budget so that they provide shelters and take good care of these people.
Yes,
and somebody, if you go detail, you see that maybe the person who has embezzled this money have something in connection with a black race. It might also be a black. You understand? So because it is like part of our spirit. It is like part of us. Because even the blacks in America, the way they do their things is always different. It's not directly like the whites. So it is like a curse on the black race that we always have this greedy spirit, this greedy mindset. We want to keep everything for ourselves. That is the more reason why you see, like in Cameroon, we have in African countries, people can, if they are going for election, like we have a presidential candidate, for them to come as one and form coalition and come to a consensus so that they do things at one, it is always very impossible because of greed.
Everybody wants to be president.
Everybody wants to be president. They don't want to submit. So
all right, so Africans, there is something innate in us, be you black, no matter where you find yourself, there is always a tendency of reflecting where you come from, but that's a narrative that can change if people are determined to see real change come. Okay, we'll take the New York Times this morning. New York Times is telling us about Trump shrinks student access from overseas. This is something that affects Africans, because from overseas, or talk overseas, it's not just Africa, but we Africans, and we should concentrate on Africa. You know, when like in Cameroon, where we have after the GCA level, people have plans, children have looked for scholarship, parents have searched for schools to the US. That's one way via which people have been able to travel abroad. And now, if the president of United States, Donald Trump, is shrinking access, what becomes of us?
Ever since Trump took power, this mandate, he has really been hitting hard that Africans, at least they should stay in their countries, they should stay where they are and allow maybe their countries, America, for Americans. So, and it is not that bad. It is not bad, because we are supposed to stay in our own countries and develop our own countries. Because when you look very detailedly, you see that we are richer than these people. We have everything. We have the resources. We have, our government just need to put in some effort and then develop our society. What we have, if you look like in Burkina Faso, it is just creating industry and creating jobs and change our educational system. That is all. The people will be happy.
Make it professional oriented.
Make some access, give access to maybe farm to market routes, where those who can go to farm, they have access to carry their food stuff from the farm to the market. They can exchange and things like that. Life will be heaven here in Africa. Just that I don't know the kind of wickedness that our African government have decided to put their young people into all this stress, because when you see young people trying to get to Europe by all costs, there are people, by food, I'm telling you, people die by the people die at the desert, at the Mediterranean Sea, at the Mexico forest.
They'll say better die trying.
I'm telling you, people prefer to die internationally than die locally, because out here, because the cost of living, for example, the cost of living in Cameroon now is killing the living.
It's killing the living.
You see, so it makes life hell out here. So people prefer to go out there, because when you go out there and then you come, you better your own life and the life of your family. Yeah.
I want to believe that Donald Trump is, like you said, is America first for him this time, and that should be a message that should sink in us Africans to be able to prioritize us, gives priority to us, give opportunities like you said, so that the youth can finish school and sit back to struggle to join hands to see that together they join in the development of the country. So still Trump, we're okay. Now we go to US today. US today. Newspaper is telling us about still Donald Trump, the president of America. They say Trump won mail-in, gets back mail-in voting, gets back out. So the president of the US was suggesting, it was a suggestion, is suggesting that okay, furthermore, if people don't want to vote anything, people should mail, like you send an email through vote. But lawmakers have refused the elections law. Experts say no president has a say. This is still America, and when you see the president says something and a body put in place by the government says we don't have a say in this, can such, you imagine this happening someday in an African country, or let's say Cameroon,
Well, it can happen. We always believe we are supposed to be positive and believe that good things can come and that it is possible that we can have good things one day. In Europe, out there in Europe, America, in developed countries, it is very much possible. It is easier. We see how they do their things. People can even sit at home and they vote through their mails, through their phones and things like that. And it is calling for transparency. But here in Africa, when they talk of transparency, is this bucket, a bucket that you can see, maybe a transparent bucket, you can see what that inside. So that is what an African man calls transparency. Meanwhile, the real transparency is if there are 10 votes, maybe for A, the 10 vote should be given to A. They should not trick and say A have bet 5 and give the other one to the other person. I think it's all about transparency. And we are living in the 21st century whereby we are moving towards high technology and development. So these things are very much possible. It's not out there that you see people queue every day to do things. You go to the bank, people must stand on a line and things like that. Anything is, in Cameroon in particular, before you do anything in Cameroon, you must go through stress. Be it going to buy something, go to pay something. I mean, you go to the bank, you must stand on the line. You go to do anything, the money you have put, to remove it, you stand on the line. To put it, you stand. To go and maybe pay electricity bill, you must stand on a queue. So all these things is, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, everything.
You also recharge, and to have the unit is a problem.
That is it.
Anyway, we pray for that change, because change is the only constant thing in life. One thing you can be sure of, in as much as you change from one year to another, from 10 to 11 to 12, that's how change can occur in every other part. So we look at Business Day. Business Day in Nigeria. Business Day is telling us this morning, they say how wrong diagnosis drain families' pocket and emotions. You see, wrong diagnosis. This is something very serious. You go to the hospital, you give your complaints, and maybe you are sent to the lab. Then the diagnosis they give there is not being related to. Imagine you go to the hospital, you say you have cancer of this, whereas it's something else. They say it drains families, pockets, and emotion. What can we say about this? What can be the cause of wrong diagnosis in a hospital setting? What can be some of the causes, some of the things that might?
That is why we keep asking this question, that why is it that the government construct hospitals and they keep going to Europe for treatment? If they know that maybe they have put in place wrong doctors and they don't trust our doctors, they don't trust our medical system. That is why they keep going to Europe for treatment, which is not good, because this wrong diagnosis mentally, when you are traumatized mentally, it is everything.
It retards even the healing process itself.
That is it. So it is. It gives you maybe half of the sickness. Even it can even cause your early death, which is not good. So I think this wrong diagnosis in our hospitals in Africa and Nigeria in particular, they should try to ameliorate the system, the health system in this sector, and put maybe good doctors and bring in good machines You know, because first thing is the facilities. When you bring in some wrong machines and bring in wrong technicians, they will give wrong diagnosis. Maybe you go into the hospital for headache and you come out with another sickness because they will prescribe to you wrong drugs. That is why you see Africans, they die like flies, they keep and things like that. And people now have tend to believe more, like when you have your sickness, you begin to go to church and you pray because you don't trust the hospital, you don't trust no process. There is no process you trust. So you see people sleep in church and they are crying. That is, somebody said, the more reason why you see fake prophets out there and many churches, it is the government that have caused all this. In Europe, you don't see people praying. In Europe or America, people don't pray for road as a breakthrough.
Yes.
People don't pray for jobs as breakthrough because immediately you are coming out from school, there is a job for you. You understand? People don't pray for bad roads at least because for people to have a good road.
To be good.
Out here, you see how people will come dancing and the president will say, "I have decided to give you people a road." As if it is his money, his road from his family that is giving you people.
Africa.
You see, so you see where we find ourselves. Whereas we are the ones that we give money, we pay taxes and all these things, and it is the resources that God has given to us so that we can live with these resources and then become and things like that.
And another problem, I think it's because, let me say, we'll take the case of Nigeria, maybe overpopulation. At times, maybe you can go and when they get saturated, you go, the lab technicians are overburdened with work, you lose focus. And at times also, you know, even hospitals are springing up, health centers are springing up like schools today, like much rooms. So those can also be
because when you look like if we want to talk about oversaturated population, we'll see in a case like China. China have one of the highest population, like India, but they have the best because they have ameliorated all their sectors. You see, they have worked on. I mean, not out here. Okay, for example, countries like Cameroon, where we have barely about 30 million people, but you go to the hospital, you still don't find doctors and things like that, and hospitals are still like like shrines. So what can we then say? It's just a matter of putting effort and working on these things, ameliorate them, and make sure that they look good. That is it.
All right. So from Nigeria, we cross to Cameroon with the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post newspaper is talking about the ongoing TCAT conference. They say, Cameroon, the Guardian Post this morning is talking about sidelines of Tokyo International Conference. PM Joseph and counterparts discuss boosting ties. You know, the Prime Minister is attending the summit on behalf of the head of state, and out there it seems a lot is happening, which is going to be in the benefits of, I cannot say just Cameroon, because if we are going into partnership, let's say with Japanese, there's also something they are benefiting from us, because it's not like they are coming to just give, but they are talking about it this morning. And this morning we are still talking about representation. The Prime Minister is representing. We are used to this time the representation. So let's go, because the median has headline this morning has something. I want to connect it to what the Guardian Post has said. The median is headlining petition for declaration of bias ineligibility. Akeremona's demarche is an exercise in futility. This is an interview that was granted to the media newspaper by Asun Yenti, who is a CRTV's reporter at the presidency, or to the presidency. Do you think this question by Barrister Akeremona asking for the Constitutional Council to declare for bias ineligibility a bad thing?
Well, let me first of all say something on the PM Joseph John Goethe visit to
TCAT for the
in Tokyo, Japan,
yes,
right?
In Tokyo, yes.
I think all this meeting, they have been attending meetings upon meetings, and what we need more from Japan, because Japan is a knowledge economy. Very, it's a knowledge economy. They have little or no resources. But when you look in almost all the African countries, they have any of their Toyota cars on the road. The manufacturers, they are developed. But a country like Cameroon that have mineral resources, we have decided to be, religious economy. Whereas in a religious economy, you don't develop, because you depend all on God. You want God to come and help you do everything.
It's like we encourage laziness.
Yeah, we encourage laziness, not like we encourage laziness. People lock their shop and go to pray for 2 hours for one day. I mean, imagine that in Europe, people who were the manufacturers of maybe Samsung phone, Techno phone, they have to go and do night vigil for 1 week.
Or they go to the mountains.
On the mountain. Will they have that time to carry out research and then come out to produce all these things? No. All this development we see, it is a whole lot of work. They go into research, they go into work planning, and then they invest the budget. Not that when the budget is allocated, they embezzle it. For example, only here, only budget to tar road, people will embezzle it. Only budget to build schools, classroom, and hospital, people embezzle it. How do we want to grow? I think our Prime Minister, Chief Joseph John Gote, who is in Tokyo, Japan, have to learn a lot and then bring back what he has learned, because we have to change our educational system. That is the base. That is what is killing Africans. That is what is putting Africa back, because our educational system is keeping us stagnant.
Because there it starts from the base.
That is it.
From the primary, you start manipulating things. Here you start history, English, geography.
Yeah, you see in China, children maybe in class 1 to 5, what they bring as homework or as handwork is they manufacture toys and things, these calculators you see, and phones, and then they bring radios. Why here in Africa, mostly in Cameroon, I've seen where children go with money for handwork. You imagine how you give your child 200 francs to go and give as handwork. How do you expect him to come out from school tomorrow and be able to manufacture something? It cannot be possible. So we really need to change our educational system in order to see that Africa that we believe in.
All right, and now let's talk the futility. How Ashonyenti describes Barrister Keremuna's demand from the Constitutional Council regarding President Paul Biya as a futility. Is it really a futility? President Paul Biya is 92, and running for another elections. If he wins, he's going to be 99.
Going to 100.
Going to 100th century. Is it really something to be described? You think? Do you buy Dr. Ashonyenti's description as this demand being a futility? Are there really no people in the CPDM who could represent the CPDM except President Paul Biya?
I think they always say Cameroon is a continent and Cameroon can do and undo. Because what we see in this country, you don't see it anywhere. It is because, for example, you see in Cameroon, instead for the aspirant to come and do campaign, instead those who are supposed to vote go to do campaign to the aspirant, to the candidate, and still vote for him on his behalf. So it is something that we cannot really understand. Like somebody said, if they explain Cameroon to you and you say you understand, it means you understand nothing. You see, it means you understand nothing. I think we have seen in most parts of the world today, in other countries, the more reason why people are asking that not that they are not saying that Mr. Biya should go on retirement or go to rest, that he has been doing bad work or they don't just want him. No, at least when you work, there is time for everything in this life. When you work, you have the time to rest and take good care of your kids, see your grandchildren, and play with them, and become an advisor. You understand? And become an advisor. We see it out there in Europe. We see it in developed countries. You understand? And one most important thing that they want a vibrant young person like Joshua Osi. He went to Bamenda to deposit his files. He trekked from his home to the Elecam office to show that he is fit. You understand? He is fit and he can walk. Because, for example, if they are tarring a road somewhere, if you see like the road in Womb, where they carry coffins on a bike, I mean, there are no access. Cars don't go down to Womb again because the road, like now in a rainy season, terrible. I mean, it is not easy. How do you call that? If we have a president, take for example that President Biya visited that place, that road will be tarred the next day. Because he cannot see that road like that and allow it. You see, we need young people like Ibrahim Traore. Why? They go to the field. They see what is happening. The engineer cannot go and film a road in Babaju and come and say that it is a road in Cambe that they have tarred. You understand? I mean, telling you that the road in Ako subdivision, it's about since 1997, since a caterpillar passed there and graded the road, not that even tarred the road. Until date, the road is still like that. So if Barrister Akeremona is asking the CPTM and giving a petition against them that they should declare, I mean, something like that, it means they want to see, because we have seen almost all the candidates.
Yep.
But we are not seeing the CPDM candidate.
This comes to add to it because he is the fun of funds, the king of kings and everything. Maybe it comes to tie to the fact that since he's been given all these honorary posts and being the president, people should run errands for him. Do you think it should be like that?
In most of the countries, the president works for the people. The people don't work for the president. They elected you to work. They want to see you. That is why they call you are the president for the people. That you have to be present. You understand? They should be seeing you. You should be intervening in situation. You know, in US you see where if there is a chaos somewhere or people die somewhere, the president must come out to address the nation, address a situation, and work towards it. Goes there and see what is happening in the field. I mean, it helped our country to grow.
People will sit up.
People will sit up.
At any time the president can appear.
That is it. Because it makes now the subordinate to at least be awakened. They are not in some countries where ministers goes to work at 12 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, because they know that nobody checked on them. You see.
Even the check-up missions are all false missions.
That is it. You go to a hospital, they tell you the doctor will come by 4. He's in his house. And somebody who is sick is there. You see. So I think we really need let CPTM can present a young candidate. We don't just want we want a situation that our country, because when you see in most of the countries, like now, if they want to compare anything, they compare with Cameroon. They will take a good road, a good tar road in Burkina Faso and then they put a muddy road in Cameroon and they are comparing. In people in Cote d'Ivoire, they are refusing somebody at 82 from being president, and they are saying that Cote d'Ivoire is not Cameroon. You see, they are comparing their country with us. You know, they will take somebody. Senegal will put a young, vibrant president, and they are comparing with Cameroon. That you see, we have a young president. Oh, Cameroon, you people are the ones that have a president that is of this age. I think we should also move towards this development, towards this
giving the youth
giving the youth the chance. I mean, they always tell the youth that they are the future leaders of tomorrow. So at least if they give us this chance and allow the youth to actively work with their vibrant and energetic blood, I think we will move forward.
Yes, we still stay in Cameroon because it's the last region papers we've looked, and we are talking about upcoming elections. October 12th, we are in the eve of elections. You remember what happened at the Constitutional Council when the verdicts were given, especially when the Samaris come to be amongst these youth. Amongst these candidates who have been retained the 12th, we have youths. Like you cited, we have Joshua Osi, you have Kabali B, you have others. I want us to look at the fact that the opposition in Cameroon is not making things easy for the Cameroonians, for the future voters, by not finding one person, by not bringing all their cards on the table and finding a middle point to just use one person. Do you think if for real the opposition succeeds to get just one candidate, that change that every Cameroonian clamors for can really come to pass?
I think the opposition is really putting the voters into serious stress condition, because Cameroonians are tired of voting parties that cannot even deliver the goal. Because at this point in time, many people out there, if you do your research, you ask in street and neighborhood, you see people really want to see a strong coalition people want to see an alliance. Let these 12 presidential aspirants come out with, one person, come out with one mindset and decide to go as one. It will help Cameroonians rather than saying that, because for example, people don't trust inside these 12 presidential candidates. There are some people inside, they say they are black legs. There are some people that say no, they are for this, this and this thing. And I think the 12 candidates, they should also have conscience and look down on the people. They should stop doing middlemen with people's vote or with people's minds, because some of them want to do like the middlemen. They already want to collect people's vote. At the end of the day, they go and sell it to the real buyer. We also know the real buyer. Bidder. We already know the highest bidder and who is already the CPDM. Rather than voting individual parties and individuals at this point in time, to me, I prefer that, okay, if they don't want it that way, let us jointly vote CPDM. And then, because I've seen areas where people, because they supported CPDM 100%, they have cleared their roads, they have given them schools. Things like that. We better go direct than all this confusion. People went to Fumban, they went and saw Sokojo. At the end of the day, they still don't come to a consensus.
Yeah, some people boycotted.
Some still boycotted. You see, it is all about greed. It is all about greed. It is all about selfishness, because people don't know. Everybody want to be. Everybody want to be. And we know very well that all of them, the 12 of them, can never become president of this country.
Only one person can be.
Only one person. And who is that one person? This person is saying that my party have stronghold. My party is this. My party is that. My party is that. They should keep party aside. And then
objectively.
What happened in Senegal? Senegal, they barely came to a consensus, and then Sonko did what he did and allowed the young man to go ahead, and that is how they succeeded. So I think they should all try their best. They should all come together and talk as one. People should keep because all of them, their children are doing so well. Their children are going to good schools. The poor masses are the ones suffering. At the end of the day, some of them are looking for nomination. Some of them are looking for appointment in the government. So they are not really working for the people. So the people should decide and make their choice, because we have the vote, we have the power now, and we have the right now. So we will make our decision now that we are not voting for individual. We are not voting for parties. If you people don't come to a consensus and come to maybe an alliance, we are going to vote CPDM. He is the only party. This is a party that already we know. They usually say it is good to deal with the devil you know than the angel you don't know. That is it.
So the opposition is really making things difficult for Cameroonians, because we do not understand how the Cameroonian opposition, made up of 11 people, are unable to come to an agreement.
I'm telling you.
An agreement because of reasons I do not know. At this point in time, we shouldn't think my party has strong this, my party. Let's look who can better rule, who can better lead. Then we'll see how we arrange all our, how they call those, their things that they have planned, their manifestos, what we'll take from here and from here and from here, and we form one.
For example, in some countries like Nigeria, when you hear like in Nigeria, they have a turn. They can decide that they come together, they form an alliance. They say, okay, the aim might be like a ballot. If they don't trust themselves, they aim a ballot. Okay, they know that it is 4 years or 8 years. Okay, you rule. The second person rule. In some countries, they do like that.
They do.
It is to better our country. All of us, we have one mindset to develop the country and to better the living condition of our people. You will rule. And the 12 of them can form a government.
Yes, of course.
They can form a government.
And it rotates.
And it rotates and it goes, all of them. And finally, everybody is satisfied. You know, for example, Bello is already, he has already been a minister. I don't think he will still want to go and become a minister. So
He
that's
could be
his
a
that's the more reason why
could be a
he
technical
wants
advisor.
to.
He must not be a president
That
at all
is it.
costs.
That is it. He can be a technical advisor. You see, Chiroma has already been a minister. He has moved from one ministry to another, right up, and now he wants to become president. You see.
So the end point must be.
So the end point is, it is very difficult for them to come to a consensus.
Which means
if they
all this
don't
change we are clamoring for it's like metaphysics.
That is it. So if they don't humble themselves and say that, okay,
And unite
because
us.
they have money,
They
these
do.
people, they are comfortable, they have houses, they have almost everything. They should look down on the population and see, because people are really suffering, and people are thirsty for this change. So they should really look down on their population and see. Look like in the north, in Garwa, where Chiroma came out, people were crying. Look like when Professor Maurice Kamto goes out there in France, people are crying because they want to come back home. They should really look at these people and have mercy upon them, and then come to a consensus and just decide to change the people's condition, even for free.
That is it.
Yeah.
So let's look at the female representation as we approach elections. We are running out of August. Then we have just September. Then October comes before it is second week. We are going into the polling stations to vote. Let's look at the female representation. We have one female who seems to be an iron lady. She's been there, Madame Tumanu Ndamjoya. Don't you think at a certain point in time, especially when we find men at this local heads, we could try to give a woman the chance to taste it and see how the management of a woman could look like? You do think if the women queue behind a female, things can change for good?
Women do constitute also the highest number of population in a society. And I believe that in some countries, women have ruled. We have seen in Liberia, Helen Johnson was at the helm, and Liberia was doing well. And Madame Ndamjoya, he's a mayor.
Yeah, she's a
in
mayor.
the
She
known
used to be
region.
parliamentarian who decided to go
in the known
back.
region. I remember one incident where there was something happened and there was a poster advert without his notice, without her notice. Yeah, she went there and told the people they have to follow law, they have to follow order and follow the procedure before they put that, and it was done the way she wanted. So I think she can be a very good leader too. I mean, she has been in the parliament, she's a mayor. I mean, she has been ruling people. When she knows all these things. She has learned a lot, and her party is a little bit well structured too.
Yes.
Yeah, her party is structured. Her party is not perplexed like this one that you see that
they have stability.
They have stability. You get it. They have stability. So women should decide at this point in time and give, because we have been voting men upon men and nothing has been happening. Let us try Madame Ndamjoya.
Or maybe, women also, we have the population bet. How many women do you think will go to vote? How many of them have voters card?
If you the last 2018, in 2018 it was about 4-point-something million that registered.
Yes.
This time around it is about 8. It means it has doubled.
It
means that Cameroonians have really stood up.
This time we should go
this
to the
time
polls.
we should. For example, they used to go to the north, and whenever they go to the north and there is peace and tranquility and they come back, they know that they have already worked. But this time around you see that the north is also up, because they really need change.
Everybody wants change.
Everybody wants change. When you go to the north, to the east, to the south, to the west, people are talking about change. We need change. So if women should give Madame Ndamjoya this opportunity and rally behind her and stand behind her, I think she can make it, because she has a good party. She has a good party. Her party is well structured. So if they give her that opportunity, she can say true.
And I think the change we need for now is we just need that change. Cameroon just need a change.
Let me tell you, like what the Bishop of Yagwa said.
Yes.
The Bishop of Yagwa said, even if it means that the devil should take over, then later we will see what will follow. You need to know what people are going through, because some of these religious leaders, what religious leaders they see orphans in church, they see widows, they see displaced children, they know the people's grievance, they know what people are really going through. You know, they really see what people are going through. They know. Some of them are like that. They sponsor many children in school. Their salaries goes for orphanage, for charity organization and things like that. And some of this our chief, that is why you see when people say they are blaming traditional rulers for going and maybe standing that kind of a thing like that, because these are people that their people believe in them. They represent the people. They know what the people go through. But when they go now and stand and represent by their pockets, the people are angry. That's where there is a problem, because the people believe in them. The people know that they are the only one to stand the gap between them and the government. They should at least do everything possible to see that they bring development, because some of these people, you see, they don't have electricity, they don't have good potable water, their children go to sit under trees all in the name of schools. You understand? So the people are really going through hell. That is why they expect the traditional rulers to really be their mouthpiece and really stand for them with all their heart. But when they go to represent their pockets and things like that, it is painful. So
you know, the other day I saw university students, a delegate, went to the presidency to say they stand for peace and they renew their support and stuff like that. Somebody around was saying it gets so bad when they start instrumentalizing youths. It's like they use them. Class delegate, say level 1, I'm from the University of Where delegate, level 1, level this. Is that really something that should be done? Those things, the mind, are they speaking the mind of their parents? There
are some things that not read. Going to the presidency to give peace messages, we don't have problem with that. We don't have problem with that, because truly we need peace in our country. So when people go like the chiefs, like the traditional rulers and religious leaders, and if people go to give peace messages, because these peace messages, they are not going to give it only before the election. It is also before and after the election. We need peace. Because, for example, if you see what is happening in the northwest and in the southwest, where there is little or no peace, you see that activities are not going smoothly.
Not at all.
Yeah, activities are not going smoothly. So we really need peace. But it is when you go now in the name of peace and then you do something else. And then you encourage. In Boya, was it Ushie like that when students were molested and beaten and things like that? And I think it is normal that they go to give peace messages. It is normal that they go to say, okay, we need peace during this election period, and after the election we need peace, because any country cannot function well without peace.
Okay, we are almost bound out. It's past 12. So I want us to check first quickly on this one. This is August ending, schools are starting in September. Some people are express worries. October is like pregnant. October is pregnant in Cameroon with uncertainty. People do not know how it's going to look like, though we do not wish that things should go the other way. We want a peaceful election. We want people to have peace of mind. We want children to go to school. In as much as schools are to start on the 8th of September, some people are saying, my children will not go to school until after October. I will not enroll. I will not do this. Do you think people have the need to raise this worry or to keep children at home until after elections?
Somebody once said, no matter how you disagree with the government, never destroy your property.
Of course.
You understand? Because we should keep praying for peace. We should keep praying for peace and trusting God for the peace, that peace will come.
And keeping a peaceful attitude and behavior.
That is it.
Because they go together.
Hate speech, we should keep hate speech aside. We should keep instigating people for nothing. We should not listen to candidates or political parties that want rioting and violence. We should all know that war is not only the presence of guns, but it is also the presence of hunger.
Of course.
You see, hunger and other things, when there is no electricity for 1 week because something happened and they have cut the light and things like that. So I think we should keep trusting God for peace. But in as much as people are doubting. Why should they be doubting?
People are scared.
They should not be scared. The elections this year will pass like any other elections.
That's what I was telling somebody.
Yeah, it will pass very free. We want to thank Minister Atanganji Paul. He is really doing everything possible to see that there is peace in our country, in our regions, in our 360 subdivisions, in our 58 divisions, that there should be peace. And we thank God, we thank the government for that, and we are trusting God that come October 12th, everything will pass peacefully. And the peace does not only mean that it is the government that will give us peace. We should keep that peaceful attitude. We should behave peacefully, and we should keep violence aside and trust God that God is the one that will give us a new president, because October 12th, Cameroonians will have a new president, a new mindset, a new government that will lead us to our goal and to our vision.
All right, we are going out of the program, so you look straight into your camera and give Cameroonians and Africans your last word as we go out of this edition.
Well, I will tell Cameroonians to be humble. The 12th presidential aspirant candidate, that they should come to a consensus. They should believe in themselves. They should keep greed aside and then look down on the population. All of them come from different villages. All of them come from neighborhoods where they see there is no electricity. There are no good roads. They should look and see that children are suffering in the northwest and southwest, and people are dying in maybe in the north because of lack of many things. So they should look down on people and have mercy on people and agree, even for free, and come to a consensus, so that we should know that this year we are not going to vote political parties, but we are going to vote coalition, that we are going to vote alliance, and which will help to bring the change that we have been hoping for and trusting God for all these 7 years. So I think that is what will help Cameroon.
Edward, once more, I want to say thank you for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
It has been a pleasant afternoon with you, and with your very insightful contributions, appealing to the minds of Cameroonians, appealing to the minds of the opposition party. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it from our guest of today. Keep a positive attitude and keep praying to God. While you keep your positive attitude, let peace be our prime urge for now. Stay away from problem, and of course, Cameroonian opposition has been called this afternoon to keep aside politics, keep aside greed, keep aside other differences, and come on the table as one person and designate one person to represent you, because if not, it means we are still going to have history repeat itself come October 12th, which is not the wish of any Cameroonian. So it is on this note that we call it quit on today's edition of the program. We want to say thank you to Buba and Nasser behind the machines for bringing us these beautiful images and the beautiful sound of art this afternoon. I want to say thank you to you viewers from all around the world for always keeping the rendezvous and watching us from far and near, to see that our program always gives something new, and of course gives you the information that you need to know. We are entering into the weekend, and from us you this afternoon we are saying have a pleasant weekend, and until we come your way on Monday, stay blessed.